Both are correct.
I have series at Buzzfeed, and now have a new channel with a bunch of other series.
Yeah. So let's talk about Watcher then, because I think people are super excited to see this thing launch. We've seen videos kind of trickling out and the series building out. What is Watcher and how did it come to exist?
Yeah, Watcher was a company that was the child of us three here. Like Shane said, we all made shows at Buzzfeed. We did a show called Unsolved where we hunted ghosts, demons, and solved crime. Or no, we did solve it. That's the title. Steven did a show where he ate fancy little food, made grapes and shrimp and fun.
Grapes?
Grapes, that's all that Steven does is eat grapes. And then we came together to make a company called Watcher, where our goal was to make high-quality, unscripted series that vary over a wide slate of topics, I'd say. We have 7 shows, and they're all now out in the world. You guys can watch them right now. The first episode, at least, of all 7 of those series. They're all quite different. Should we just go?
Yeah.
I was going to say, pop quiz, can you name all 7?
Oh,
I think that would be embarrassing.
Technically, we have 9.
What are you doing? What?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, you're right. Watcher, making one, right. Anyway,
that's 2.
What are the other ones?
Spooky small talk.
Yeah, we got
Pop
history.
history.
We got top 5 beatdown, tourist trapped, homemade, grocery run,
Weird, wonderful world.
and let's see what else is there.
and Watcher Weekly.
So maybe Watcher.
So we nailed it.
Good stuff. I'm sure that was very coherent and understandable.
Yeah. I'm trying to think as a journalist how I unpack that. So, is there something that kind of unites all of the Watcher shows? Is there kind of like an ethos behind this you guys have?
I would say so. Shane always says that our shows are driven by a genuine curiosity. That's very earnest in the exploration of that curiosity. All the shows feature topics that we're all very passionate about, or that we think we have a unique voice on, and I think that's the unifying theme. But no, I would say that. I think that's it in a nutshell now.
And quality.
How did you come up with like the ideas? How do you workshop this?
We all have our own.
We discussed this yesterday very briefly at the, was that yesterday? Yes.
Yes.
At the track, the
Creator Track.
professional track. It was the first time we've ever done one of those. We were very intimidated. We felt like we should have shown up with a PowerPoint. But we realized all 3 of us operate in very different ways when it comes to like brainstorming. I was talking about how I go on walks. Ryan likes to sit in a room and stare at a wall with a notepad until he comes up with an idea.
Well, sometimes
That's crazy.
Sometimes come to me. Tourist trap came to me after I was taking a nap on a plane. I
You
woke
said
up.
you woke up and screamed at the flight attendant.
Give me some paper and a pen now. No, what I do is I scrabble in my little notepad in my notes app on my phone.
Yeah.
But for the most part, yeah, I will sit and I'll write down a bunch of topics that I'm interested in, and then I'll go down the list and think about what's my way into those things, what's my unique point of view on those topics, and then if you could do that, if you could capture that in the series, if you could capture that essence, then you usually will have something.
Yeah, I think for me, it's a little bit, it goes back to my cultural identity, being Asian. I felt like Asians did not really represent well in Hollywood the past 50, 60 plus years, and so I wanted to change that, and so I started making content where I could talk about my culture, and food was my way into that, so Homemade is just like my vehicle to talk about culture, and these recipes for like dumplings and tamales are all just Trojan horses of sorts to get to people talk about culture.
And so we talked about it reason, but I mean, I'd be keen, because I know that you love all your babies equally, guys, but maybe we can start with Stephen. What's your favourite one of your sort of 7 or 9 shows that you're going to be producing?
My favorite baby, that's not my own. How about that? I'll answer one that's not my own. Oh my, wait, is that?
I'm gonna answer one of my
Alright, fine, I'll answer my own too. I love Homemade. Yeah, so for those of you who are not familiar with my past at Buzzfeed, I made a show where we tried different foods at different price points. And it was fun. It was really fun. We got to eat I will say, we ate gourd, truffle, and caviar, and all the fun stuff. But it felt like it didn't have a lot of it didn't have a heart behind the dishes. And so I wanted to find food that had heart to it. I'm all about the heart here, on the left side of this table. And Yeah, so I think homemade is my favorite baby. The one that's not my own baby, ooh, which one is it? I didn't even think about the answer to this. One of you guys' babies. I think it's.
Did you just look at his belly?
I don't know what it is. Yeah.
Oh, look at your shirt.
You said it.
You
You just went to ask one of your babies, and then you looked at his It was very strange. Don't.
It's puppet history. But yeah, I love puppet history. It's a show. I hated history growing up. I was a terrible student. But in puppet history, I actually am engaged on history for the first time in my life.
Yeah, you're a history master. I like Watcher Weekly a lot. I'm not even going to talk about a show that we produced in advance. Watcher Weekly is turning into a fun, weird little hangout show, and I really enjoy it.
Yeah, that's our interactive weekly talk show.
Yeah, what do you like about it?
I mean, one of the things that was always fun about Unsolved is that we had the post-mortem episodes, it's like a really easy way to communicate with fans and, you know, address stuff, talk about stuff. It feels very current, and it's loosey-goosey fun times, as we say in the States.
Yeah, everyone says that in the US. Mine's Tourist Trapped. That came out yesterday. It's a travel show that Shane and I made. I don't know, I love travel content. I love traveling. I love tourist attractions. And so to be able to explore that for my job was very fun.
What's your favorite tourist attraction in London?
Ooh, in London?
Oh! Professional journalist.
Of course, you got that big, mighty clock. I think his name is Ben.
Yeah.
He is big. Tower of London's pretty cool. Hyde Park, if you consider that.
Hyde Park's my favorite place to go because there's a lot of scary birds that walk. There's like always people feeding them too much bread. And,
Are you one of those people?
No. A lot of dogs, a lot of ducks. I'm a big fan of dogs and ducks. So
I saw a thing. Ducks can get scary though. I saw a video of ducks
what are you talking about?
doing some stuff to each other.
Oh.
I was not a fan of it. It was not good. Those ducks.
Moving swiftly on.
Yeah, let's move on from the ducks.
You mentioned puppet history as one of the super interesting shows that you have, and
Yes.
I mean, kind of that's your baby, Shane. So
That's
can you
my
maybe tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, puppet history is a lot of it. It was a lot of work. I built a little puppet theater and made a little puppet man. And initially, when we talked about the show, we were like, what if we, instead of using heavy graphics, which we ended up,
We still use heavy graphics.
everything was just going to be a little puppet show to like act out scenes and stuff. And then I stewed on it more and more. And I came in one day and I was like, Ryan, Steve, what do you think of this? I'm not in it at all, and it's just a puppet. And Ryan was like, I don't think that's a good idea. But you know, it's a puppet, and he hosts the show. I like to.
So you're referring to him
I
as
was going to
Steven.
say I like to keep some separation to this now, and I don't. Ideally, I will never be seen in the same place as him going forward.
Is that because you're scared you'll become him? Or
Maybe.
Is it dangerous for you to constantly refer to the professor as you?
Possibly, I could go through something. Yeah, some sort of identity crisis. Sure.
We, I believe, may have a little clip.
We have a little clip from the upcoming episode of Puppet History. It's a very long and involved story, so it was hard to find a good clip from it. So this is a very short clip, but it's a moment from the episode that I find really enjoyable. Here we go.
On to our second person of interest, Louis de Rohan. Born in 1734 to the distinguished Rohan clan, author Jonathan Beckman describes him as, quote, impeccably polite, with full dark eyes that shone under gently drooping eyelids. Louis charmed everyone he met and accumulated a pantheon of lovers.
I think Jonathan Beckman is the Hans for Louis. It's almost, it's kind of sounded a little bit like a rock.
Yes, I did omit all the yums.
Oh, the
Yum, yum, yummy.
yum.
Yum. Yeah.
About this.
You never tapped heroes in different
or very disappointed and angry?
Good fun. Kate Peterman, she was on some rooming history and some other stuff. She's very funny.
And there's kind of interesting inspiration in Sarah. I mean, where did you come up with the idea apart from your amazing
I don't know. I've actually, I have a lot of people ask me if I've seen horrible histories, which I have not.
You're
I know it's
missing
very
out.
popular here. I should go back and watch that. Because they have a lot of like little singing people in there and funny little sketches and stuff. So apparently there's some overlap there, and I need to educate myself.
And I mean, the production is very different to what you're doing. I mean, how involved is it to produce an episode of Puppet History?
It's pretty involved. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on because we shot some stuff, but then there's also like a digital curtain that allows me to kind of do some stuff. So there's a lot of FX wizardry.
And you really did.
Sam Winston.
Yeah, well, R.I.P.
Yeah.
You did put a lot of work into that puppet theater. I was very
I
impressed.
lost my mind making that thing. Yeah, I lost myself in a room in my apartment, and my girlfriend was like, "Is everything okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm making a puppet theater. Don't worry."
Little dog clothes shipped to his house
Yeah.
via Amazon Prime.
It's hard to find puppet clothes, and so I had to buy a lot of doll clothes. It was a weird time in my life. But hey, I made it.
But this is one of, I think, the most fascinating things because you've gone from being involved in such a large organisation to kind of casting out on your own with Watcher. I mean, how difficult is it to kind of staff out and then develop all of these shows by yourselves almost?
It's incredibly difficult. It's been a process. To come from a place like Buzzfeed that has, like you said, an amazing amount of infrastructure built in, and to now just be out here floating on an island by ourselves is scary and daunting, but it's a process like everything is. We're definitely making mistakes, but also doing some things quite well, I suppose. Maybe not quite well. We're doing some stuff okay, and we're figuring it out.
What do you think about it? Good? You like this stuff so far? Yeah.
Do you like it?
Yeah, thumbs up for yes. Maybe
Thumbs down for
stinks. Get it out of here. Ooh.
So Stephen, what's been the hardest thing about Watcher? Like whether it's the most complicated concept of developing these shows or staffing something out or kind of doing the work?
Yeah, I think the thing about Buzzfeed was we were allowed to kind of go off on our own and do our own stuff and not really worry about other shows. And me and Ryan and Shane were on the same team for a while, and I would see Ryan at 2 a.m. searching for ghosts on his computer, and I would be working on my own thing next to him on Worth It. And with Watcher now, we kind of have to care about each other more. I mean, I already did care about these boys, but I think there's another level of we now started a company which feels like our own baby, and we all have to kind of co-parent, water the baby,
water the baby.
water the baby.
Don't ever have a child.
It's not going to feed you, just going to pour out a little water over its head. Straight down.
So I think it's really about the team, and we brought in other people as well. It's not just about my show. It's really about these guys. It's about our team back in LA, Katie and Brittany and Anthony and all those guys back there. Yeah, it's just been a really cool process to build what feels like a family together.
And Shane, is there something that you've learned from this process about these other two guys?
About them?
I'm getting deep now.
Oh boy.
What have you learned about me, Shane?
I think you two have leveled out, become less crazy. Well, Stephen was talking about how you'd be in the office till 2 a.m., which is that's passion for sure. But I think you two and this whole process has been very restrained in a good way. We're not. I don't think it's good to just ruin your mental health over trying to make something. I think you should get obsessed with it and pour your heart into it. But you guys have been very I don't know, it's good I don't know where I'm going with this. You're fun to work with.
probably asking what happened to it unsolved. The million-dollar question. What is going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, we're still making the shows. We just shot a season of True Crime right now, and then we are going to be shooting a season of Supernatural this summer. We'll be hunting some more ghosts. I'm very excited to continue doing that because there's still some work to be done there.
And they're out there, and we gotta.
They are out.
Lasso those
That
bad
means
boys.
one would argue that we've already caught some ghosts.
One would argue that.
I don't know if there's. I feel like there's a fair amount of people in this room who would agree that we have caught some evidence that I would find compelling.
I've seen it.
This is our first time
Not that
we've
impressive.
behaved.
The evidence, not that
It's
impressive.
really not.
What is it, a tag team now?
Where did we go?
No, we went to the Viaduct Tavern the other
We went
night.
back there, or they went back there, they brought me.
And Ryan was like, Steven, we're gonna put you in this set. We were actually, the guy who was working there was the guy who was there when we shot the episode.
Yeah.
He's Ian, he's a lovely man.
Great, makes a good gin cocktail.
Yeah, but Ian was like, I can take you down to the cell. And Ryan was like, we're gonna put Steven in that cell. He's gonna lose his mind. Steven's fine. Sounds scary.
But here's the
Not
thing,
scary.
Steven didn't do any reach out. though.
Whatever. He was still a
Steven was like,
jerk.
oh, I don't like that Ouija board there. I'm not gonna do it. I don't like messing with that stuff. So I'm just gonna sit here.
Why would you invite danger into your life?
There it is, danger. You believe. That's what I'm saying. If there's nothing there, then why is it dangerous?
I do believe in the spiritual realm.
Boom.
There was nothing in that basement.
No, there wasn't.
And I can, the way that, I know you're like very genuine in trying to find a ghost, and I know that you think you found one, but I really, I think that that's not, like, on a camera setting,
We caught a ghost walking by on camera. He's in finality. What are you talking about? Yeah, that's right.
Yowza. Anyway.
We do have another video, right?
That is true. As I said, we did just shoot a season of True Crime, and we may or may not. We're going to show you a clip put together of the upcoming season of True Crime. We don't want to reveal any. Oh, wait, wait.
Vidcon London.
London, careful with the accent there. I'm full of people who are very aware of what that should sound like. Well, we're on the set of True Crime. Buzzfeed Unsolved True Crime Season 6.
Season 6.
Which we're very excited for you to see.
So we don't want to give away the topics of the season, but fortunately, knowing this show, we do have lots of conversations on set that have nothing to do with the topic. So we can show you some of those. And being all the little detectives we all are out there, put on your little detective hats. And if you want to try to figure it out, be my guest. Maybe you'll figure out what the episode's about. I doubt it. But you know what? Why not try?
Yeah, take a look. It's called the Deer Stalker Detective Hat.
No one's gonna know what deer stalker is. Put your deer stalkers on? That sounds weird. This week on Buzzfeed Unsolved. This week on Buzzfeed Unsolved. This week on Buzzfeed Unsolved.
From the top.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
I think we can't talk about it.
No, they want to know about the mystery.
I don't want to know about your
It's
history.
been nice and easy the first time.
The violent state in which the body was left pointed investigators towards murder.
That's actually my wish.
To die off screen.
No, giant snake. Oh. That'd be pretty cool.
To get killed by a giant snake.
Yeah.
I thought you said your wish was for you to say keep rolling.
I mean, I would say that as a stick, like I'd be half an hour's mouth.
There's a sky burial where they sort of lay you out in the field, and a bunch of vultures and buzzards come and just eat your meat, pick you clean. It's beautiful. They do it like on sky.
Beautiful. Birds themselves are.
They eat you and then they
I
fly.
have a much different image in my head.
Or like put me in a cannon and shoot me at the sun. Yeah, well, that's sun punch, all right. I would punch you and run. I'd run real fast.
My immediate reaction is not to go to the
You go,
window.
when I am Bones, if you find me somewhere,
You want me to use your femur as a frisbee or something? Or a boomerang? Boomerang?
gone. I would run for exercise. And a rotten Dalmatian jumped right up against a fence and started growling and be just barking like a maniac. For no reason, just because I was passing. I'm a nice man.
Well, if they do hate squirrels, do you think you thought there was a little bushy squirrel tail? To think that two idiots like ourselves could make the call on somebody's life.
Shouldn't do that to us. You really shouldn't. The other day I turned the stove on to boil a pot of water and I turned the wrong burner on and I set a towel on fire.
Yeah, that's this guy in charge of the murder trial. The guy who can't boil pasta. That's fucking insane.
Hey!
Very on topic.
Like we said, we didn't want to give away any topics, so we pieced together just one of the many tangents that we go on set. I don't even remember how we got onto the topic of a nasty Dalmatian.
I didn't like that Dalmatian one bit. Do you guys have Dalmatians here?
Dalmatians? Down?
Dalmatian. Well, I guess.
Is it down or Dal? I
There's
was Dal.
Dalmatians and 101 Dalmatians.
Yeah, that's.
And that takes place in London.
To the title.
Yeah. Well, it depends on the accent. Dalmatians, Dalmatians. It's a good movie. But that was a rotten dog that barked. Don't ever visit the U.S.
I bet you
It's
were
full of
taunting.
rotten
I
dogs.
bet you were taunting. I bet you deserved it.
I just ran past it and jumped against the
Oh,
fence.
that's what you did? You
I
just ran past it?
screamed in the middle of the street. I don't know how we could. Okay, we don't need to talk
Far
about
as in
it.
the dog's face, you know.
So I'm going to go out into the audience and ask certain people to ask some questions. But while I do, first of all, can Edie put her hand up, please? Edie asked a question. Oh, whoever asked a question, which Edie asked a question on Twitter of these guys.
I sent a couple that could be asked.
There you go. So you win the prize. But while we're doing that, do you guys feel like you're haunted from these spirits ever?
I feel like there are residual things that have maybe latched onto our soul a little bit. However,
Ryan woke up after we went to one place. He woke up in the middle of the night and told his girlfriend that her face was covered in blood.
because it was.
That's weird.
It could have been a very vivid, lucid dream, but apparently it did happen. She said I screamed at her and said, "There's blood all over your face looks like a skull."
He, as a person, is haunted.
I do feel like that is really weird. Okay, Edie, what's your question?
I sent many and they range from stupid to like actual questions.
Ooh, the stupid ones are great.
The stupid ones, have either of you been on Rise of the Resistance at Disneyland yet? Because I know our theme park.
I have not. Actually, my tale with that is kind of heartbreaking. I showed up, and I don't want to get too inside baseball here, but I went to the park at 6 a.m. to try and get on the ride, and I failed. So, I'm a little salty about it. Shame though.
I've done it. It rules. It's really incredible. Man, you blew it. It's so good.
Thanks.
I don't want to spoil too much.
No spoilers. I have avoided spoilers.
Big plot details, but it's worth your time. It's really a feat of engineering.
Yeah, the great thing
Let's
is,
cut that off there.
I never tried to, and so me and Ryan are in the same boat here, so.
You're not a big Disneyland man.
It's alright.
I'm just picturing you joylessly riding the Dumbos or something.
You love the-
no gold here.
So Edie had another question, which kind of touches on locking Stephen in that place in London. But I mean, have you ever revisited any other unsolved locations? Just for the kicks.
Other than Winchester, right?
One time we were in San Diego and we with the Sorrel Weed
No,
House.
that's the Whaley House.
Oh, sorry, the Whaley House. The Whaley House is in San Diego. We happened to be there for something else, and we were like, we should pop in and say hi. They'll remember us. We walked through the door, and the person was like, hello. And we were like, hi there, how's it going? And they're like, the entrance is over there. You have to buy a ticket to get in here. And we were like, okay, see you later.
We were expecting like this warm welcome, like, hey boys, you're back to do the house again.
Oh, it's
And
you.
he was
Who
like,
cleansed us?
tickets are over there.
Yes.
Not exactly what we hoped.
So, the viaduct much more welcoming.
Where is Rebecca Mansfield?
She just dropping a question on Twitter and not even showing
Yeah,
up.
now you're going to be playing in front of the audience. Where's Rebecca? Over here? Let me.
Rebecca!
See, when I said I would do this camera, I didn't know I was going to be right now.
It's a cardio, I guess.
You have an awesome question. What is it? What's your favourite place you visited to find ghosts?
Ooh,
Stephen?
Pass.
Live Oak Tavern, it's the only place you've been.
That's true, yeah.
Favorite, yeah.
The Vidcon Tavern actually, we hadn't been there when it was operating, because when we shot the episode, it was after it had closed. So it was fun to actually be there when it was open.
It was nice.
It's a lively atmosphere.
To see things, to be able to talk to people.
Out of all the places we've been, every now and then some people will send tweets being like, we visited the island of the dolls. And we're like, are you out of your mind? But when people say they went to the Viaduct, we're like, yeah, great. That is cool.
London Tubes, though, was actually up there for me in terms of like, because it's just it's a fun attraction. It's a tourist attraction, but it was also haunted. I enjoyed London Tubes, actually.
Where's Ray? Ray had a question through Twitter. Hi, Ray. Have you done something with the camera? It's really good, mate. What is it?
This is for Shane. How did you find time to write the Hot Doggo series?
How did I find time? I usually wrote it on the way into work.
That shows. That's hands.
Not always for the bigger episodes because I had to record like little music and stuff. I would write those out ahead of time. I think as it went on in the later quote unquote seasons, I started to map it out more. But for a while there, it was like, oh, we gotta go shoot postmortem this morning. And at 9:15, I'd be like, oh, maybe.
You couldn't even tell by the quality of the
I know.
How do you find inspiration for like the shows? Like we know yours, right? In terms of that, in terms of staring at a screen, a blank wall. But where else do you guys find inspiration?
Well, where do you find inspiration for the podcast?
I mean,
The greatest piece of Unsolved that ever existed.
I just think it's fun to write funny little things that make me laugh. On our Patreon page, we've got a weird little unscripted, scripted play that I've been writing about the formation of Watcher that is incredibly stupid. My inspiration is that you're this way too. You kind of make stuff that you like or that you
Yeah.
find entertaining. Sometimes to our detriment, because if we're our first cuts are pretty self-indulgent.
Yeah, we create selfishly,
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. I wonder if it's easier to just have people raise
Yeah,
their
do you want to
hand.
put your hands up? So I can read.
Oh, okay.
Well, now they're popping.
I was just wondering if there was a place like around the world that you like really want to travel to like tourist trap.
Ooh. Oh,
Like,
man.
where's your dream place to travel?
You know, doing a tourist trap in London would be amazing, actually, just because there's so many offerings, both hidden and in because the format of that show, if you don't know, is tourist attractions versus hidden gems. I host the tourist attractions, Shane hosts the hidden gems, and I feel like London would be right for
Right for the picking is
I was gonna go picking or
Were you gonna say
plucking.
plucking?
I could have said plucking, and then my brain decided to go
Right for the
pit.
Stephen, you could probably also shoot some homemades in London. Think about that.
Oh, what would be a good homemade food for London?
Maybe like a meat pie?
Potatoes?
Is that ignorant?
Let's not do meat pie. Scones is a good shout.
Scones?
I do love an English breakfast. I tried to get these two knuckleheads up for an English breakfast the other day, and they slept right through their alarm.
I did not sleep through my alarm.
Yes, you
I
did.
didn't fall asleep until 8 a.m. despite trying to sleep since midnight.
And they were like, yeah, I don't think we're going to make it to this. And I was like, that's fine, no big deal. I made reservations, but it's fine.
I don't want to fall out on your London trip. So we've got another question over here, okay? Another question from first person microphone back there.
He said, why be a skeptic?
I don't know. It's not a choice, really. I don't think. It's weird. Yeah, I don't know. It's sort of hard baked, I think.
You didn't choose the skeptic life. Skeptic life chose you.
I don't know. I wasn't that religious growing up. I think that's part of it. My parents took me to church a few times, and I was like, I don't see the big deal, guys. And they were like, yeah, you're right. I was like, I don't like going to church. My parents were like, okay, we don't have to go.
Do you see yourself maybe in like 20 years writing a book about how ghosts were real?
No.
Okay.
Well, we've talked about this before, but like a lot of people will come up to either of us and be like, how has your viewpoint changed? Like, Ryan, you gotta be like doubting yourself a little bit, and Shane, you gotta believe just a little bit. And no,
We're still firm in our belief.
just rocketed toward the end of our spectrums even harder.
That our ghost real book, for Shane would be quite short. It would just say no. It would be one page, or it would have 500 pages, just the word no.
No.
Like Jack Torrance.
Hello.
I was wondering if you've been to any like spooky or cool places while you were going around the UK.
Haven't been to any place spooky since we've been here. The Vidcon Tavern, we've been there. I will admit that's not the scariest place. There are a couple other places around the UK that I want to go visit. I want to go to the 10 Bells pub. That's because that's kind of etched into the Jack the Ripper lore. But other than that, we really haven't gone any place too spooky. We thought we might go to Hyde Park. I don't know if that gets dangerous after hours. When the sun goes down, do people go to Hyde Park and never check
There's
it out?
lovely little lamp posts, and it seems nice.
Well,
at night.
I know Central Park. You walk into Central Park when the sun's down, you may not come back out.
Really?
No.
Oh, let's turn over to Big Apple.
Yeah, we offended Big Apple.
That comment alone makes me doubt everything you said.
You never know that.
The Central Park is kind of dangerous.
It's New York.
It's dangerous to walk in a park in dark.
It's
It's so dangerous it rhymes.
We have a question over this side as well. So
Where are
this
we?
is a microphone.
Was any stories or any productions that you've had, including Stephen yourself, that you've not been able to do, either for production reasons or whether or not the laws just said, you just can't do that?
Yeah, I mean, for Unsolved, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of like, we'd love to shoot here, and people say no.
Yeah.
Stephen, have you run into any? I mean, there's definitely stuff for Watcher that we would like to produce that may be a little further down the line.
We tried to make some Disney content with Worth It. Like
Did
Worth
you?
It Disneyland foods.
That's kind of
Yeah.
like, did
But
you actually go to Disney? Oh, they didn't want to.
I would love to investigate Disneyland for Unsolved, but I'm pretty sure that would never happen. I won't let that happen.
Bro, we have another question up in the middle on the right here.
Are there any like haunted locations anywhere around the world other than like, the US that you think you really want to visit?
Other than the U.S., there is that, I forget how to pronounce it. Is it Poveglia Island? It's the
Plague Island?
Plague Island.
I don't think we should go there.
It's crazy.
It's just a bunch of bones. It's an island made of bones.
Yeah, I know. The catacombs in Paris would be fun. I'm trying to think of other places.
You guys should go to Singapore. There's a lot of strange stuff going on there.
I would like to investigate more Asian cultures just because I know as a Japanese guy, we lean heavily into ghosts there. So that would be fun.
Yeah, there was a while where we almost went to Ireland to investigate like fairies, which I think would have been the best episode in the world. I don't know. I know it's just lore, but
Would you keep your fairy in a little mason jar?
I remember I was so delighted at the prospect of that episode, and then when it didn't go through, I was like, I want to go find fairies.
Well, the fairies are like mean though. Like they
They're like tricksters, I think.
Oh, I
Any
was
fairy experts in the? Oh.
Do you guys have like a supernatural being or like a cryptozoological animal in the UK that you're known for, like Bigfoot?
Loch Ness Monster, yeah, good job.
Loch Ness? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Of course, yes.
The largest cryptid. Yeah. The most well-known cryptid of them.
I guess I was talking about London. Not
Oh,
UK.
sure.
Black cat in the
So we
moors.
have a microphone
Black
sort
cat
of
in the
middle left
moors.
with a question coming in, and then we'll have one way back here as well.
I'm gonna marinate on black cat while this question goes.
Shane, I'm over here, sir.
Where are you? Oh, there you are.
Oh yeah, you got called sir.
So, I've had this question for a while because I recalled you semi-answering this when the question was asked, are you a ghost or a demon? You only answered ghost. So are you a demon? You got that vibe.
Am I a demon?
Yes, you look like one and
Great. You know what? I'm offended by that. And I have no comment.
You should have a comment because a large portion of the internet thinks you're a demon.
I've never even heard that.
I'm not aware of that. I remember. You just straight up to his face said, you look like a demon. I appreciate you and respect you. I'd like to shake your hand. It's like maybe the best thing I've heard since I've been direct. I love that. That's great.
At least you didn't say soon. So we have a question all the way at the back here as well, back far right.
Hello.
Hi, my name's Rachel. I'm talking on behalf of my anxious friend down here. She's too scared. She loves you guys a lot. She wants to know how drunk you got in the viaduct.
In the episode?
Or last night?
Two nights.
Just this week.
Just this week. Oh, I see. We got a little toasty.
Ian made a wonderful, like, giant gin, because it's a gin palace.
It is.
He made these wonderful giant gin drinks with, like, some tonic that you splashed into it. It was really good. It's not really something we consume in the States.
No, it's not. Yeah, I would say we got a little toasty. We weren't like staggering around, walking around pubs, falling over, knocking chairs down or something like that. But we got a little talkative. Hey, it's London! Hey, you go out for a drink with your pals! Yeah.
So in the last 5 minutes, we'll maybe race through a few questions, okay? So we have a question here from a young gentleman. Go ahead.
My name's Joshua. Do you find it stressful filming all these different series?
Yeah. I think the question was,
Filming all the different series.
filming all the different series, is it stressful? You get a little bit of almost like a series inertia, like to have to pivot from something like Unsolved to
We have to go.
It's the ghosties.
We got time. It's fine.
No, it is a little weird to pivot from series to series, especially since they're all so wildly different. Weird Wonderful World is such a silly show where we, go through all kinds of weird experiences, and then you're looking for demons. It's all so yeah, it's a bit stressful.
Luckily for Watcher, we each kind of oversee two or so series, and kind of divvy up who is producing each one.
It's always hard to get the series started.
Yes.
It's like, it takes a while to really hone in your brain on the idea. But then once it gets rolling, it's pretty, like, it moves.
Yeah, the stress like mounts and mounts and mounts up until the first shoot day, then you shoot, and then just slowly.
I also remember when we first shot, Tourist Trap was the first thing we shot after hosting Unsolved for like 3 years. And I remember the first day of shooting, we kind of looked at each other and were like, is this working? Is this, what's the voice of the show right now?
Because usually if Ryan and I are exploring a location, it's like, obviously number one, is it haunted? Let's talk about that. And the first day of Tourist Trap, we were at the Madame Tussauds Wax Museum.
Yeah, that's right.
And we started rolling, and we were like, what do we do?
What do I do when I'm not looking for ghosts?
Yeah.
Something I ask myself every day.
So we're probably the last 3 or 4 questions. So we have a question over here on the left.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Phoebe.
Hello.
Hi, Phoebe.
Firstly, shout out Stephen, my Southeast Asian king. Thank you very much.
King.
So you guys seem to really enjoy the candidness and the interactivity of your content at Watcher. So I was just wondering, do you guys see yourself opening up to suggestions from like the public when it comes to your content? Or do you think it's more of a process that you want to develop more organically, like internally?
I think it's a mix of both. I mean, when we conceived of Watcher, we wanted it to be a company that eventually grew beyond the 3 of us, both outward facing, like in the content itself, but also from the ideation. So I think it's very possible we would take feedback from the audience into consideration when we're thinking of new series.
And we've been pretty reliant on the audience, even in this first round of pilots.
Yeah.
In terms of like decisions we've made and edits and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, yes. Yeah.
We'll see. We have a
Yes or
question.
no question?
The question here from Gilman Pink.
Hi, I'm from Salisbury. There was like a Russian spy poisoning there like 2 years ago.
Oh!
Yeah. None of us really know what went on there, but like it was big news before and it's kind of gone away. So I was hoping you could do like a true crime on that because I don't know what was going on there.
Sounds like someone was up to no good.
Yeah.
You
The
don't
whole
get
town was
poisoned
like
for
cordoned off like
nothing.
6 months. It was pretty weird.
Huh.
Well, yeah, people are getting poisoned all the time. Unfortunately, can't solve them. Some things are.
Really glad you're not the
It's
head of
crazy.
any kind of detective work.
A lot of shaky deaths in the U.S. lately too.
That's true.
It's going on all over.
But I'm sure with you at the helm, none of them would get solved. Or you no progress be taken.
Watch your 6 out there.
Watch your 6.
Okay, last couple of questions. We've got one here, and I'll come to the front right because they've had their hands up for ages.
Hi, I just wonder what other niches you're interested in that you may or may not work on in the future.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah, I couldn't hear.
what other niches you're interested in that you may or may not work on in the future.
What other?
Interesting niches.
Oh, niches.
Niche, oh, niche,
Yeah,
oh,
like
nice.
Reverse.
Yes.
Translatively.
I don't. Stephen, what about you? Is there,
Okay, well, the
is
great
there a
thing,
corner
the great thing about homemade is that's all we are about. We're all about those niche. How do you say niche?
Niche. N-I-C-H.
There's a lot of ways to pronounce
It's
that.
one of those words, the more you say it, it sounds like it's not a word.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever experienced that.
Niche.
Niche.
Yeah, homemade, you've got a lot of leverage there. You can explore a lot of
There's a lot of different food. I mean, I personally really want to explore really interesting Asian culture topics, but I think we're trying to bring it so that we can do many more. For me, I'm really interested in like Cambodian culture and Southeast Asian culture. Sorry, I guess I'm the Southeast Asian king here. You know, Malaysian. I feel like Malaysia culture is not represented well enough in media. You know,
I'd love to explore sports. I know that's a little hard in the digital space, but I also I would like to
You
explore.
can teach me about them. I don't know anything
Yeah,
about
just the series where I teach you what sports are.
Thunder is a baseball bat.
I'd probably pay about $50 to watch you play a game of basketball.
Oh, no, you wouldn't do that.
That's why I picked you. I'd like to see the coordination of those limbs.
I would love to see. Sorry, this is totally off. Me and Andrew versus you and Shane.
We know you guys.
No.
Just Shane has the height.
In high school, we had a basketball unit in gym. Yeah, a unit. And the teacher was like, hey, get out there, you gotta play. And I was like, I'm not good. And he was like, I know, you gotta participate though. And I went out onto the court, and he saw the way I was moving. He was like, you know what? If you don't want to play, you can take it. You can take it. And then I sat against the wall for the entire unit, and he was like, he didn't care.
Your gym teacher was Al Capone?
Hey, get out there and play ball.
Get out there and play ball, boy.
Okay, and our last question to take us home.
Take us home.
That's a lot. Hi, I'm Monica.
Hello.
Hi, Monica.
I was just gonna ask, was there any like fun little stories of like meeting people or talking to people or like things that happened at places that didn't make it into any episodes?
It didn't make it in.
Yeah, I mean, every place has usually a site rep that will take us through, explain things, and each one of them is a different shade of weird. And I enjoy all of them because, frankly, I'm a weird dude. But let's see, if there's one person that really sticks out, Pepe in Mexico is probably the one that comes to mind. Him or
Shout
Eric.
out for Pepe.
Pepe's great, very, very fun man. There was a point in that trip where we were getting scammed cheated out of some money on an island to kind of like make us stay there. And the guy was actively scamming us in Spanish. We didn't really understand what he was saying, but Pepe was our translator. And he just very politely turned to us and went, I think we're getting scammed. That's the maximum of his alarmed state. I loved it. But him also, Eric Ensbrenner.
Eric Ensbrenner was the guy who was at the Sally House with us, who was like a local ghost hunter. And since that was like our first ghost hunt, why did we reach out to him? He just agreed. Oh, he was like looking after the Sally House.
He came with the house.
Yeah, he showed up, and Ryan and I think, had been drinking a little bit. He was like, "You guys partying?"
You want some shots?
That guy was really nice.
That sounds brilliant. That's a brilliant experience. I think a really nice way to end it. So
yes.
Thank you so much for sharing everything with us.